I really think if you've had narcissistic abuse, you'd have to be living underneath a rock or maybe have the emotions of a rock to not realize just how, on a psychic level, it's mind-blowing. It's really quite shocking, and until you've been through it, you can't even fathom how shocking it is. Other people just don't get it. And probably the way I'd best describe it, which I know so many of you can relate to, is that it literally feels like there's a black ink that's clogging up your whole being and it's coursing through your inner self. And you feel like you've got ice shards that are going through your veins, and at times you feel like your life force is literally being sucked out of you. And you know that this abusive person is living on inside of you, and the abuse and their words and the things that happened, it seems to consume your entire being. And you can't even escape it often in your sleep. You think you're going to get some reprieve then, and then there's the nightmares, and it feels unthinkable and unstoppable. And time doesn't necessarily heal the psychic connection with a narcissist. I've met so many people 30 years down the track and they've said, she is still living on inside of me. I'm still not free of this. And there may be times where you feel free of it and you think, oh gosh, I can breathe again. I'm getting on with my life. And then bang, out of nowhere, it hits you again. You're regurgitating what's happened. It's dragging your whole energy down, and you literally feel like somebody's stuck a hose into you and they're sucking your life force, siphoning it out of you. So what is going on with this? Lots. It's really important to understand that narcissistic abuse is not just a practical, logical thing. It is literally a spiritual, emotional, psychic phenomena. It's an energetic, parasitical condition. And narcissists literally are, as a no self, they are somebody who can't generate their own energy and life force. So what they do is they hook into somebody else's soul and suck their life energy from them. And it's a scary thing until you know how to address it. The scary thing is that you don't even have to be in physical contact. So you don't actually literally need to be in physical connection for this to still be going on, because it's happening through the unseen world. And narcissists can plant their markers and infiltrate people. And I'm going to explain to you coming up how they do that and why they're able to. And once they can hook in at that energetic level, a narcissist can literally be getting a feed off a person for the rest of their life, even if that person has no contact with the narcissist. Hence why they feel like they can never shake this terrible psychic disease of the narcissist living on inside of them. So how do you break the psychic connection? The great news is absolutely you can. And maybe you're thinking we're going to talk about tie cutting, as a lot of spiritual channels will have you focus on, a meditation where you have a look at where the ties are connecting you, such as your throat chakra or your heart or your solar plexus or your root chakra or wherever it is. And you may do a prayer or do some ceremony where you dissolve those ties and hand them back and do whatever you're doing. And I will say to you that can be helpful. However, you're really treating the symptoms by taking away those ties at the time. But if you're not actually dealing with the causation root of how those ties could connect and infiltrate you, well, then they're simply going to reform, which means that you're going to have to do tie cutting over and over and over and over again, which is like treating a disease as the symptoms flare, but never actually curing the disease. The Thriver work is about so much more. It's about curing the disease and curing the disease so you are going to be free of that feeling of your life force being sucked your soul being overtaken and infiltrated and poisoned and polluted, and the nightmares that you're having about the narcissist where you can't even get reprieve in your sleep. It's about getting rid of what is actually generating your side of the magnet that's allowing this connection to embed in you and take place. So what is that? It all gets back to the trauma bonds. It all gets back to, we have matching traumatic beliefs and fractures that match the horrible stuff that the narcissist delivers. So these could be the people I love and the people I want to love, want to receive love from, abuse me, invalidate me, leave me, scapegoat me, abandon me, annihilate me. All of the things that we have within our psyche, which really means within our deep somatic subconscious programs that have been the emotional experiences, often pre-birth and precognitive, and then they just keep repeating, which have meant that we have unconsciously been a match for a false self. And then what's happened is, because we haven't healed to be able to receive true self, which is creation, life force, God, your higher power, your superconscious, your highest potential, whatever you see your higher power as, until we've cleared out the trauma separating us from true source, what happens is we're trying to seek our relief and our reprieve and our emancipation and our source of self from outside of ourselves. And this is where false selves are very, very clever, as positioning themselves as the healer of our wounds, the giver of love, approval, survival, and security in our life. And they will position themselves as a dependency for us of those things. But then actually what they're doing is hooking in like a parasite, creating a dependency and a trauma bond, and then sucking our energy out to feed their false self. So it means that we can't be a true source to ourselves, and they're not a true source to ourselves, and they're actually parasiting off us. That's exactly what narcissistic infiltration is, and it is going on more at the spiritual soul psychic level than it is everywhere else. At the spiritual soul psychic level, it all gets back to our trauma bonds, the previous emotional composition of our inner being in regard to interpersonal relationships. So how we heal from this is no contact is probably not going to be enough. Tie cutting is probably not going to be enough, and just trying to find solutions to treat the symptoms, which are horrific, or trying to just distract ourselves and get on with our life often doesn't work. And this is why we think, okay, well, I'm just going to get on and get up with it and rebuild my life. And yet we keep falling back into this horrible psychic disease that we're feeling inside of ourselves. And we just don't have the energy and the inspiration or the confidence or the capacity to move forward. Why not? Because our life force is getting sucked out of us. That's why. So how do we stop our life force getting sucked out of us? By changing ourselves on the inside in our inner belief system composition to no longer be a match to the person who has been able to attach. You have to change yourself to create yourself so that that person is no longer your reality. What does that mean? That my inner belief systems and my inner compositions in regard to interpersonal relationships are no longer a match for that person. I have graduated out of that 3D density of pain and trauma to a much higher octave, whereby this person energetically does not reside. That's what the inner thriver healing is all about. Changing ourselves to step into a different universe where that is just not going on. I really hope you can hear the passion of what I'm saying. And the reason I'm very passionate about this is because the psychic infiltration nearly killed me. It was so bad and so severe, I could not eat, I could not sleep, I shook, I sweated, I had nightmares like Nightmare on Elm Street. I could barely drag myself to the kitchen to make a cup of tea. I understand what this feels like because I've lived it. And I know a lot of you have had it as badly as I have, or even worse. And I broke completely free. 0 PTSD, 0 nightmares, 0 feelings of like he even exists. No obsessions, no connections, cleanness, space in my cells, and well-being with true source, which not just saved my life, it literally gave me my life. And that's the beautiful side of this. I hope that you feel what I'm saying through the cells of your being. There is a true solution, and it's very powerful and it's very quick. And it was Quantum Freedom Healing that did that for me. And I just want to tell you quickly about, you've probably heard it throughout my channels, but Thrive, which is an intense Quantum Freedom Healing boot camp healing experience. I'm doing that with a global group of incredible thrivers who want to get free with my incredible MTE team. That starts on the 1st of May, holding your hand and your heart and getting you out of these connections so that you can get your soul, your sanity, and your life back. Check it out with the link that goes with this video, or go to melanietonioevans.com/thrive. We are nearly full. There are some spaces left, but they're going quite quickly. So check it out, because, oh my God, when you get free of this and when you know how to keep cleaning it out and cleaning it out every time you feel it, and you just get freer and freer and freer, you will not know yourself. I promise you with all of my heart. Feel my energy. That's where I want everybody to get to. And you can, it's waiting for you. All right, I so hope that helps. Lots of love. Bye-bye.